Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Iris Podcast. I guess this is the Iris Podcast. Today we are looking at a game between DDoS and Careless Pandas. I am here by myself today. Unfortunately, we have nobody else here. But this should be a very, very interesting match to see. And the first map of the day will be on Ilios. Looking at the team compositions here, DDoS and the Careless Pandas are looking at a pretty similar comp. Unfortunately, one of the Careless Pandas players is not here and is subbing in with a hard Reaper bot. Interesting little thing, but let's see how this affects the Careless Pandas. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, and rolling out, DDoS is rolling out in the pharmacy. This pharmacy duo is looking to be a pretty important combo because this is the only real way that DDoS will be able to take out the Careless Pandas pharmacy. We have Buff Llama on the Pharah, Mix Ready on the Mercy for DDoS, and for the Careless Pandas we have Nebby on the Pharah and Tikin on the Mercy. And it looks like DDoS is not going to touch the point at all, and it looks like Careless Pandas are going to get an early cap on point 1. Let's see how DDoS can respond to this. They got an early pick onto the hard Reaper bot though. Let's see if they can advance on this, get some more kills. Ooh, the Sigma going down early to Yeti though on the Orisa. A very solid tank player, and another pick coming out from the pharmacy, getting Stevenator playing Anna. And this pharmacy for Careless Pandas is just taking over, getting 3 kills in total, taking out half the team of DDoS. And it looks like the Careless Pandas will retake this site with pretty easily. No switches coming out for the side of DDoS. Interesting lineup. DDoS is running the meta composition of the Orisa Sigma. The Sigma needs to deny the sightlines of the Pharah. Instead, though, it looks like Rubix, who is the Sigma player, is coming in, trying to take pocket. That is a very big pick, though, from Buff Llama onto the Mercy onto Tikin, the Mercy of the Pharmacy duo. But it looks like it will not matter because some picks from the Careless Pandas have pretty much secured them this fight, and the Pharah ult will secure them this fight win. Still no changes coming out for DDoS. Looking at the ultimate economy here, DDoS has 2 very big ults. They have both DPS ults up. They have Valkyrie. They almost have the Gravitic Flux, the Sigma ult as well. Let's see how they are able to use it. So it looks like, ooh, that is an early pick onto the pharmacy. Looks like Mix Ready will be going for the res on the Pharah. He gets the res off, but it costs him his own life. And it looks like Yeti for the Careless Pandas popped his supercharger, but it was taken out immediately by Stevenator on the Moira with the Coalescence ult. And it looks like DDoS took the point pretty convincingly right there. They used 3 ults, which isn't ideal, but with the ults they have, they can pull it back. And the recontest is coming in from Careless Pandas. This should be interesting to see how this plays out. J-Star picking up a pick on Nebby, the Pharah. Interesting pick. Interesting kill right there. Buff Llama taking out the hard Reaper bot will secure DDoS the point. So, looking at the ult economy for Careless Pandas, they are coming in with pretty much everything except the supercharger from the Orisa and the Death Blossom of the Reaper. Granted, this is a hard Reaper bot, so that is not surprising. But it should be interesting to see what they get. Ooh, that is a very interesting exchange right there. And it looks like Nebby got the better of that with the Pharmacy and the Rocket Barrage. Buff Llama, though, did get a lot of value out of his rocket barrage, but it seems like the firepower just wasn't there for DDoS to clean up the fight and win this. Oh, and we have an interesting gravitic flux from Rubik's all the way from spawn. Did not make it though. And as Careless Pandas seem to be cleaning up this fight, this looks all but over for DDoS. Ooh, J-Star with a big pull on the Roadhog. Let's see if they can capitalize off this. Yeti switching over to the Wrecking Ball, seeing if he can install, but it does not matter. J-Star ends up falling in the end to the Moira damage orb. So, a very interesting round here. Seems like DDoS looked a little lost with what to do with the pharmacy and weren't really playing into it. But, new round, let's see if DDoS makes any switches. Ooh, interesting setup from the Careless Pandas. They are going to be running the meta once again, and it looks like they are going to be keeping with the pharmacy. The pharmacy was such a big factor in the first round. Let's see if Nebby and Tekin can continue up with the pressure of the pharmacy. And on the side of DDoS, it looks like straight meta, which plays a lot into DDoS's strength, where they just want to play aggressive, get in, get out as fast as they can, get kills when they need to. But, as shown in the first round, they're going to have a hard time dealing with this pharmacy. This pharmacy is getting so much value. Nebby and Tekin are doing an amazing job of getting picks, getting targets low for their team to come in and clean up. And Buff Llama engaging with a rocket punch in very far. Can he make it out? He makes it out. Nebby picking up a pick on the Orisa, but J-Star killing the opposing Orisa. Nebby, once again, this pharmacy is taking over. It's still a pretty even fight right now, though, as Rubik's picks up a kill on the Reaper bot. Buff Llama back in, looking to take out the Pharah, which he ends up doing. PDK Kid ends up picking up a pick on the Moira, and DDoS can confidently pick up fight number 1 in cap point. Buff Llama looking a little low there. Don't know what the plan was there. But DDoS is now holding an aggressive angle. But they also got to be wary about the pharmacy, because Nebby is so close to his ult, and he has his ult. But Yeti's looking a little low on the side of Careless Pandas. Oh, there's the barrage coming out from Nebby and DDoS, or Nebby and the Careless Pandas. Picks up J-Star in the process. But Rubik's takes out Nebby in the process. But Nebby will get res by Tekin. Rubik's ends up taking out the hard Reaper bot. We see Lucio coming out for the side of DDoS. Let's see how this fight plays out. PDK Kid picking up 2 with the Death Blossom, and Buff Llama taking out the Orisa. This looks like it is a secured fight for DDoS. Tekin kind of stuck out on the pharmacy, but looks like, ooh, unfortunately he can't get out. Nebby can get out. Nebby's just kind of flying around, getting some poke in. Rubik's picking up a pick on the Reaper bot. It's probably going to pay dividends, because Careless Pandas are going to have to push in 5v6 against DDoS. Mix Ready trying to build that beat up, trying to get his beat back for the Gravitic Flux. Gravitic Flux is a very strong ultimate if you don't have anything to counter it. But PDK patiently waits in the back. Ooh, and there's an unfortunate pick on Buff Llama from the pharmacy. And there comes out the Supercharger from the side of Careless Pandas, and the Gravitic Flux and the Coalescence. This fight looks all but over for DDoS. And the pharmacy, once again, is just taking over. DDoS looks lost with what they can do against his pharmacy. %. This is a one-fight territory for DDoS, so... But that convincing fight win made it look pretty easy for the Careless Pandas. They do have another Rocket Barrage, and they have Valkyrie. An ult that could single-handedly win them this fight. And make sure DDoS does not contest for another few minutes. DDoS looking to engage here. Figuring out the plan of attack. They push underneath there, on point now. Oh, there is the Meteor Strike. Buff Llama with the big ult! And the hard Reaper bot pops his Death Blossom, but that Buff Llama ult was perfectly set up from J-Star with the Orisa pull. And Rubik's just kind of taking over, cleaning it up, and DDoS will take point number 2. 100 to 35. Yeti will touch on the Wrecking Ball, though. Let's see if he can stall it off long enough for his for his team. PDK Kid all the way in the back line, trying to get some picks. J-Star popping the supercharger. Looks like that will pay dividends here in the fight, as Careless Pandas are unable to retake point number 2. Point number 2 is interesting. Once again, the pharmacy was just taking over. Now let's see what happens on point number 3. Let's see if DDoS can finally respond to this pharmacy that's been running all over them this whole game. Point number 3 here. There can be a few interesting strategies that can be ran here. We can see another pharmacy. We can see them. We can see a Symmetra come out. We can see a few different things. But it should be interesting to see what happens. And it looks like from the side of DDoS, we will be seeing a Symmetra Doomfist. Interesting team composition against the pharmacy. It looks like DDoS is just going to be trying to take and hold point. And there's the TP up, and they already are on point. And the teleporter does not matter anymore, since they already have point control. And PDK going in on the Doomfist against a very interesting team composition from the side of Careless Pandas. A Reinhardt and an Orisa. We see Bebop on the Reinhardt, and we see Yeti on the Orisa. It's a very interesting setup, but Rubix does pick up the pick on the Hard Reaper bot. But J-Star and Buff Llama are looking very low. But it looks like DDoS has... Ooh, Nebby with the Rocket Barrage already, but it will be nullified as Buff Llama takes out the Pharah, and Stevenator takes out Bebop on the Reinhardt. And this fight's pretty much cleaned up for DDoS here. DDoS with a very convincing fight number 1 win. Let's see if they can keep it up throughout the majority of this fight. Now, Careless Pandas do have the Coalescence ultimate that could help them get into the point. Will they pop it when they get in? I guess we will find out. For DDoS, though, they do have the Lucio ult, the Beat Drop, which will come in significantly against an ultimate like a Reinhardt Earthshatter or even a Reaper Death Blossom. Let's see how they're able to do this. And PDK going in on the Doomfist gets loyalty bias very low, and J-Star takes out the Moira, and this fight looks all but over for Careless Pandas. Unless they are able to pull this back. PDK with the Doomfist ult. Let's see if he can get any kills with it. And it's looking like it is PDK and Rubix trying to take on the pharmacy. Ooh, that is a big pick by Nebby on the Doomfist, but Rubix taking out the Pharah with just Mercy left on point. And Rubix now has his support back with Stevenator and Mixed Ready back, but Careless Pandas do have 2 on the point. This should be fairly interesting to see what happens. In that fight, though, Bebop did use the Earthshatter. It didn't look like he got a lot of value out of it, but they have a lot of ultimates coming back in, and Stevenator picks up the kill on the Reaper bot. But they have to be careful of Nebby coming in with the Rocket Barrage. And there is a lot of ultimates coming in from the side of Careless Pandas. And it looks like that Rocket Barrage might be enough to win Careless Pandas the fight and take the point here. A lot of ultimate usage here from the side of both DDoS and Careless Pandas, as Yeti used his supercharger, T-Quinn popped the Valkyrie, and Nebby popped his Rocket Barrage, but also a lot of ultimates coming out from the side of DDoS. Buff Llama used the Symmetra Wall, J-Star using the supercharger, PDK using the Death Blossom, and Rubix using the Gravitic Flux. The only ultimates they have left here are Mixed Ready's Beat Drop, which he just used. That is a huge pick on the Reinhardt, as Bebop will not get any value out of the Earthshatter, and DDoS is looking very convincing here to retake this point. All they got to do is get rid of Yeti on point, and this map looks all but over. They do have a few people that are touching, and DDoS cleaning up the fight. And it doesn't look like anybody will be able to touch. Interesting. From map number 1, looks like the pharmacy just kind of took over. And DDoS could really do nothing about it. We will see how this escalates in the following maps.